Trump's 25% tariff plan, aimed at China, but hitting U.S. allies. President Donald Trump's decision to impose 25% tariffs on all U.S. imports of steel and aluminum has sparked significant political and economic debate. While the tariffs officially target China's influence in global markets, they primarily impact U.S. allies like Canada, Mexico, South Korea, and Germany, raising questions about the policy's overall effectiveness and long-term consequences. In early 2024, the top 5 steel exporters to the U.S. were Canada, Brazil, Mexico, South Korea, and Germany. Canada also topped the list for aluminum supplies, with smaller contributions coming from the UAE, Russia, and China. However, China's role in the market is less about direct exports and more about its influence on global steel production. China produces more steel than the rest of the world combined, with most of it feeding its domestic needs for construction, shipbuilding, and manufacturing. However, as China's economy has recently cooled, its steel exports have surged. While not a major direct exporter to the U.S., much of its semi-processed steel enters American markets indirectly through countries like Canada, Mexico, and Vietnam. These nations refine Chinese steel and label it as their own, circumventing direct tariff penalties. This dynamic highlights China's outsized influence in global steel markets and the challenges the U.S. faces in countering that dominance without alienating its closest allies. China's oversupply of cheap steel has created ripples across the U.S. economy. American producers and labor unions have voiced their concerns, citing detrimental effects on domestic industries and workers. China's overcapacity is swamping world markets and severely injuring U.S. producers and workers, warned Michael Wessel, an advisor to the United Steelworkers of America. China, in turn, has criticized the tariffs, stating, "Protectionism leads nowhere. Trade and tariff wars have no winners." Wei Jiaquan, Foreign Ministry spokesman. In retaliation to Trump's earlier 10% tariffs on all Chinese imports, China announced counter-tariffs targeting U.S. exports, including liquefied natural gas, farm machinery, coal, and key agricultural products. These retaliatory measures are set to escalate tensions further and could trigger a prolonged trade standoff. China's current steel surplus is rooted in rapid industrialization that began in the 1990s. Over 15 years, the country massively expanded steel production to fuel a booming construction sector that has since declined due to the collapse of its real estate market. With millions of unsold apartments and dwindling infrastructure projects, much of China's steel output has flooded global markets at reduced costs. This has led to a drop in global steel prices, difficulties for American steel manufacturers to compete, worldwide tariff increases imposed by countries like Brazil, Canada, and Turkey on Chinese steel. As countries seek to shield their industries from these price drops, the global trade environment is becoming increasingly protectionist. The U.S. steel industry wields notable political power, especially in battleground states like Pennsylvania, home to key players like the United Steelworkers Union and firms such as U.S. Steel. During Trump's presidency, he originally implemented blanket steel tariffs of 25% and aluminum tariffs of 10% but exempted certain allies, including South Korea, Australia, and Brazil, in exchange for export quotas. China, however, remained a primary target under the full spectrum of trade restrictions. Actions like these have raised political stakes, with the steel industry serving as a critical voting bloc in pivotal electoral territories. These tariffs have undeniably left a mark. Since their implementation, the U.S. steel industry has reported some gains. A 20% increase in production capacity. Modernization through the opening of new steel mills. A decline in reliance on outdated, less efficient plants. As of January 2024, U.S. steel mills operated at 74.4% capacity, according to data from the American Iron and Steel Institute. These figures demonstrate some degree of recovery and stability in the domestic steel market, albeit with ongoing vulnerabilities to external shocks and global economic pressures. The road ahead for the tariff policy is uncertain. While designed to protect American jobs and industries, the strategy risks sparking another global trade war that could harm international relations and consumers alike. With global tensions escalating, the overarching question remains: can these tariffs balance protecting domestic industries while avoiding international economic fallout? As the debate continues, this policy represents a high-stakes economic battleground for the U.S., with implications that stretch far beyond steel and aluminum. For now, the ripple effects of Trump's tariff plan are poised to shape American politics, trade, and industry in the months to come. By exploring the policy's implications for both domestic industries and international allies, this video aims to provide an in-depth look at a complex issue affecting America's present and future economic realities. Comment below, do you think these tariffs are worth the trade-offs? Let's discuss.